Hello and welcome. My name is Carsten Lützen. I'm an Agile coach and a Scrum Master. Today I'll talk a bit about this everything is data. And of course this might seem obvious, but at least to me this has led to some realization when I help a new team, for instance. So we of course have the interactions in the team, right? So when we are trying to understand what is happening, why are people behaving in the way that they're behaving, so we are looking at these interactions. How do people talk to each other? How do they work in meetings? How do they work together when they're sitting at their desks? Do they team up and solve problems in pairs or in smaller groups, or is it just doing individual tasks and then syncing up, giving a status report every morning in the stand-up, or what is actually happening? So we often use this what do we observe quite a lot and use that to form our hypotheses. Then at least when I help out a new team, I'm always trying to butt myself in as many situations as possible to see what is going on. And sometimes you might end up in a situation where you're welcomed into a lot of things, but there are some off-boundary things that you cannot for some reason observe. And to be honest, I didn't necessarily think much of that, but that's actually also a data point that we can use. So of course we have these interactions, but we should also look at what closed doors do we see, because that tells us a bit about how open is this team, how open is their way of working, how transparent are they actually when it comes to sharing progress or to making decisions in the team, and not just a manager or a senior something that makes all the decisions. So this is actually a really great focus point as well. And when we're talking about interactions, another thing that's also quite interesting to look at is the lack of interactions. I'm sometimes told that when I'm in the office, you're never in doubt, because I'm often trying to have a bit of fun in the office in some way or another, or talking. So this lack of interaction, are people talking together, or are they just sitting individually and in silence on their computer? There might be a perfectly good reason for this. Or if we go to lunch, are people then talking, or are they still sitting in their own little bubble? That can tell you a lot about how are they actually seeing this as a working group, or as a team, or as a second family, or just some people that they have unfortunately be put together with. And all of these data points, not just these ones, but all of them should feed into our hypotheses of why are people behaving like that, what should we do, what should we try and change to make it a more pleasant environment for everybody. And hopefully that can help us by not just looking at this, but also taking closed doors and be transparent about that. These closed doors will hinder or might hinder is a wrong word, but might not give you the full picture. So you might not be the best Agile coach or Scrum Master or process facilitator or whatever if you meet too many of these. And then, as always, when we do stuff like this, so for instance, if we have lack of interaction, I will always try to create that. So talk to people, not only about work, and if they only want to talk about work, that's also okay. But really, role model the behavior you want to see. If we're just gathering data, then we will of course stay in the background, but you shouldn't be in data collection mode all the time. So I will also try to role model behavior and then see if that changes anything in the system, or if it's still closed doors and no interactions. So A really good sentence to remember is this: everything is data. Also the things that we did not think of as data right away, but they can actually be quite useful to know, that also gives you a piece of the big picture. I'm hoping that you will share some of the data sources you use, whether it's your Jira, Kanban, whatever board, or where you're finding data to help support your team. And that was it for me this time. I hope that some of you have some feedback, ideas, or input. So please send it in a message or write it in a comment. That would be super awesome. And please subscribe. Have a super, super awesome day.